This is Rajul Srivastav, and let me take this opportunity to welcome you all today to become a super coach. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking what the super coach is all about. But prior to that, I just like talk about it, what is super coach and how you can actually become a parenting coach and how you can actually become the career coach. So this is the journey that we have been actually traveling for almost a decade now. We've been to this domain and after conducting loads of counseling, like 5 to 6 years back, we started and thought of it why not to actually pass on this journey to the people who are quite interested into and quite passionate about student empowerment. And that is where, we started a journey. So, what is the Super Coach webinar all about? The very first thing we will be talking about a parenting coach. We will also be talking about the career coach. We'll also be talking about the compatibility coaching or maybe the relationship coaching type of thing. I will not call it per se the complete relationship coaching, but yeah, compatibility relationship and the recruitment coach. If you want to help the HR people to basically recruit the right candidate based on the aptitude test, these are four segments. For any kind of a counseling, you require a tool. If you don't have a scientific tool, then you can't really do the counseling. So first is called the parenting counseling. When we talk about a parenting counseling is like can be done through a DMIT tool. That is the only tool so far that I've actually realized that this is the most effective tool to do the parenting counseling, and I'll tell you how. Second is called the career counseling, that is the psychometric test report, right? So when you talk about a psychometric test report, psychometric is something which is across the globe. It is the thing which is being used by the best of the universities and the best of the colleges and the best of the schools, and at the same time the all the HR professionals, be it the Fortune 500 companies or the other company, everybody is using it, right? So psychometric is being used for the career counseling and a stream selection. रिलेशनशिप काउंसलिंग के लिए और कंपैटिबिलिटी के लिए यू हैव वन ऑफ द टूल कॉल्ड डीएमआईटी कंपैटिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट that HR के लिए you have psychometric or DMIT. It can happen through both. So it's a corporate kind of a thing. So you have one thing you have a multiple applications for the same tool, right? So DMIT and its scope, as I said, is parenting counseling, career counseling, relationship counseling, and HR counseling, career coaching, and its scope. So when you do the career coaching or career counseling, the objective is to help the child to select the right stream, to select the right profession for that matter, and to do the goal setting so that he has a clear cut path or she has a clear cut path to actually get into. Now, if you talk in India, as I already said, we require 14 lakh career counselors to cater to 315 million students to match the global ratio of counselor versus student. See, across the world, there's a student versus ratio. For example, every class has got, 40 student ki one class. On every 40 student, there's a one teacher. In some school, they say ki fine, we have one teacher in 20 schools, and they charge extra amount, right? So ultimately, at the end of it, there is a ratio, the number of people the student can be catered by one counselor. And there's a global ratio. To meet that ratio, we require 14 lakh career counselor. That is the gap that we have it in India. In India, we have 10,000 trained career counselor as per India Today report, but we require 14 lakhs. So can you imagine what is the kind of a dirt that we have it and the requirement that we have it for the counselor? Why it is scientific is because of this reason that we have various lobes. We have the brain and we've got 5 parts of the brain here and 5 parts of the brain here. So these 10 parts. Okay. Now, the brain is made up of neurons. Having more neurons, does it mean that you are more intelligent? My question to you is, having more neurons means that we are more intelligent. The idea is no. Having more neurons does not ever mean that you're more intelligent. Having the more connections of neurons means that you're more intelligent, right? Otherwise, the elephant would have been the one which was most intelligent, correct? So, if you really, what is the definition of a intelligence? An ability to solve the problem. What is an intelligence? Intelligence is an ability to solve the problem, correct? Dr. Howard Gardner came up with a multiple intelligence theory and he wrote a book called Frame of Minds in 1983, which was very well argued initially and was not accepted, and gradually people realized there couldn't have been a better and a stronger theory than what Dr. Howard Gardner has given. Because what I was talking about, the, like these brain parts, it is directly linked to that. Why do we have a different brain part? Because there is a different function to that. If we have a different function to that, and if there's a strong connection of neurons in a specific brain part, the child automatically becomes stronger in that. Because brain works when the circuit is complete, when the neurons are connected. If my temporal part has got stronger connection of neurons, my writing skill and my like grammar skills will be better. But if at all somebody else is there whose let's say interpersonal skill is good, a person will be people smart, would be able to actually create a better connect with the other people, would be a great leader for that matter. So these kind of a things really matter. So Dr. Howard Gardner argued upon that, and he wrote a book, and he came up with a theory called multiple intelligence. So there are 8 multiple intelligences which are conducted. Visual spatial intelligences, you are good at thinking in 3 dimensions. Linguistic verbal intelligences, you are good at working with the words. Interpersonal intelligence is good at communicating with others. Intrapersonal is you are good at self-reflection. Logical means you are a mathematical thinker. Musical means you are naturally inclined to understand rhythm and pitch. Body kinesthetic means you learn when you learn physically engaged in your learning. And naturalist means you are in tune with nature and the outdoors. You love pets, you love nature, you love environment, everything like Menaka Gandhi or Samir Ali or whatever, right? And parenting is not giving birth. Parenting is about strategizing. Parenting is about creating a strategy and for nurturing a child. When you create a strategy for everything, you need to create a strategy for nurturing a child, isn't it? That's it. That's very important. So there are 3 kind of a parenting style that we have it today in our country. In fact, universally. The very first one is called the accidental parenting, which primarily means you have given a birth to the child and you don't care what comes way, whatever happens. If the child does well in life, it is only his own efforts, and the child doesn't do in life, good in life, is again its own effort. So you have given a birth and thereafter you left the child. So that is called the accidental, by accident. Whatever the child becomes, whether good or bad or whatever it is, you have no role to do. It is the child's destiny. It is the child's, like understanding and child, whatever the thinking pattern has been and how the child has himself developed in. That is accidental parenting. Second is called the experimental parenting. We send the child and expose it to different things. हम उसको गिटार क्लास में भी डाल रहे हैं. We are sending him to drum class also, tabla class also. We are sending him to dance class also. We are sending him to gymnasium also. We are sending him to swimming also. So we try to experiment what is the thing that the child may be good at, maybe, or we want him to be a jack of all trades, right? That is called the experimental. You keep on experimenting anything and everything, like just to see that what is the area that child may nurture and has a potential to be good at. Now coming to third type of parenting is called the data driven. Data driven parenting, to my mind, is the best parenting because this directly tells you that these are the areas the child is good at, these are the areas the child is weak at. You need to develop these areas, and this is the way to develop the child, right? This is what it is. So accidental parenting, experimental parenting, and data driven parenting. Obviously, accidental parenting is like bad say. Experimental is something which is good, fine, but you don't have a tools, right? And data driven parenting is the best parenting. But today, 95% parents are doing a accidental parenting. 5% are doing the experimental data driven. In fact, data driven parenting is only being done by less than 1% of the people. Data driven parenting means you need to have the personality, you need to understand the child's personality. Because only when you understand the child personality, you are able to accept the child. Otherwise, you'll keep on blaming the child. Why do you do like this? Why do you do like this? Because we don't know. It could be a personality of the child, and therefore he's doing certain actions, right? So then it will also talk about the compatibility of the, the father with the child and mother with the child, right? So ultimately, when you know ki how the father should behave with the child, because the father has this personality and the mother has this personality, right? And something in that. Top three intelligences. Unless you know about the intelligence, as I was talking about the intelligence, there are eight multiple intelligence. So you need to identify the top three intelligence. Because only if you are able to identify the top three intelligence, you can suggest the best career options for that matter. You can understand what are the strengths of the child, and you can give an exposure to the child in that. You will also come to know, you need to understand about the brain dominance. Are you a left brain dominant or the right brain dominant? Correct? Some people are left brain dominant and some people are right brain dominant. Okay. So ultimately, if you are a left brain dominant, that's fine, and right brain is weak. You need to understand how do you develop and bring the right brain to the same level. So that, because if you work with one dominant brain and second less dominant brain, you may not be able to get the best out of it. To get the best out of it, you need to have a whole business, you have to work with the whole brain. If the whole brain is powerful, then absolutely you can do a better job. Grasping power. You need to have a grasping power. You don't know. Sometimes we say the child is a slow learner. But how do you really know whether they're a slow learner? Most of the time we blame the child. It is, and we say there's a learning disability. To me, there's no learning disability. To me, I feel it is only the teaching disability. Because we have somebody to blame upon, we blame the child and we say, ki fine, he has a learning disability. Rare cases, there's a disease, it happens, I understand. But most cases, this is not the case, but we just label the child. सबसे पहले तो टीचर्स ही लेबल कर देते, then students लेबल कर देते, everybody labels the child, right? So learning style, talent is extremely important, right? Talent is extremely important. Why? People say it does not ever matter. You're good at studies, you have got the best of the career. My dear friends, not about the career. It's all about the talent also. You need to showcase some talent. हम social gatherings में जाते हैं, somebody says, hey, you know how to sing? No, 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 I don't know. Hey, you want to sing? You know how to dance? No, no, I don't know. Do you have anything else that you do? No, I don't do. So you also need a child where you need to understand what are the talents. And most important is, if you understand that the child will do better in chess, you will first expose him to the chess and then the child will start performing better. So rather than putting into 10 different classes, exploring that whether the child is good at theater or swimming or chess or anything else for that matter, that is something that I'm talking about. Then finally comes in the talent, the stream selection, and the career selection. So data-driven parenting is basically like, based on the data, it will basically give you the right thing. So if you know all these eight things, and basis which you are nurturing the child, you have a strategy to nurture the child. That's called parenting, and that's called the data-driven parenting. Else, it's not a data-driven parenting. It is just the parenting, either an accidental parenting or an experimental parenting. So if you want to be the best of the parent, you better to do a data-driven parenting. Correct? Is it making sense to you? Right? So for all that stuff, you need to have a scientific tool, and scientific tools that we have, it is called DMIT. That's the first tool. That's called Dermatographic Multiple Intelligence Test. A lot of people would have heard of a fingerprint science. Have you heard of the fingerprint science, right? It is the science which started way back, and I'll give you a history of it. Dermatographic multiple intelligence. Derma is the skin, and graphics are the pattern on our fingers. And multiple intelligence is the theory that was coined by Dr. Howard Gardner. So it's about 200 years back when there were so many kids who were born in different part of the world, and these kids were not having the brain, that's cortex, and this is called the brain like cortex, right? So they didn't had that, and these kids don't survive for more than 24 hours. And it was realized every child, no matter which country or which state or which particular area the child is born at, any child born without a brain, that's called Down syndrome. That disease is called Down syndrome. They don't survive for more than 24 hours. But it was noticed that the child not having a brain is not having a fingerprint. Why? What is the connection between a brain and a fingerprint? That raised the eyebrow. And then the research started, and a lot of people started researching and writing papers, and there were more than 4,000 papers which were being submitted. It was Dr. Harold Cumin, who is considered to be the father of dermatographic multiple intelligence tests. had taken a fingerprint of 5 lakh people, and he realized by using four sciences, embryology, genetics, like neuroscience and dysderma, he came up with by the way of classification or analyzing and summarizing, he actually came up with 20 different type of fingerprint patterns which can be formed. He saw that every pattern has got a special relationship to that particular brain part. So if the brain has got a lot of neurons and the brain has got a lot of neurons better connected, you have more ridges over here. If the brain has got less connected neurons, the circuits are not completed and the connection is not strong in that particular part. It will reflect because all these 10 fingers are connected to 10 parts of the brain. As I said, we've got 5 parts brain, 5 parts of the brain here. So right is connected to a left and left is connected to a right. So it is like prefrontal, frontal, temporal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. So that's the way it is connected to our brain. So therefore, when the brain has got strong neuron counts, it is reflecting the in form of a number of ridges. And therefore, by taking a fingerprint, we are able to evaluate that how strong the connections in the brain are. This is science. This is what is being told about it. So therefore, we take a fingerprint, and by taking a fingerprint and not asking any question, you come to know which are the areas that the child is good at. Correct? Multiple intelligence was coined by Dr. Howard Gardner. Both the sciences came together and to map the brain. Initially, it was made to diagnose the future disease that the person may have it, but later on it realized it has got a strong potential to identify and map the brain. If we are able to map the brain, we are able to understand which is the stronger part of the brain. So why not to use it for the studies? And then DMIT was launched, and in India it's been about 12 years, and ever since the first batch in India happened, I was a part of it. So by taking a fingerprint, what all you would come to know about it? First of all, it'll tell you about the type of personality that you have it, whether you're a bird personality, it's a birding personality test, right? The bird personality, the eagle is dominant and the peacock is influential and the owl is compliant and the dove is steady. So these are four different type of personality. So that is the eagle. Eagle personality is very they are goal oriented. They're visionary. They have bold. They're determined. Inborn leaders, stuff like that. But if you talk about the compliant, it is process driven, fault finders, analytical, notice detail, they're perfectionist. When you talk about the influential peacocks, they are having an unlimited potential. They would like to work with everybody. They are a little defensive at times. So ultimately, there's nothing called right or wrong, but once you understand about a personality, if mother has a dominant personality, child also has a dominant personality, or mother has a dominant personality and the child has got steady personality. So who will be heavy on whom? There are a lot of factors, and then that helps the parents to understand the child and accept the child. So to identify the personality, it will give you the personality. It will do the SWOT analysis for the type of personality. Then finally, it will also talk about a multiple intelligence. There are areas you are strong at, there are areas you are weak at, and they are strong. I was talking about the connection into the brain part. So it will give you the percentage of brain connections that you have it, the neuron connection that you have it, which means the potential that you have it. So the areas, the green one reflects the great areas, the blue one reflects the average. That's the way it goes in. So once you understand that which part of the brain is strong and which part of the brain is weaker, and so accordingly, the ones which are weaker, if you interested to develop, you can do that, right? It will also help you to understand what is the grasping power of the child. Report will also help you to understand whether you are left brainer or the right brainer. Because if you are a left brainer, you can develop the right brain. If you are a right brainer, you can develop the left brain. If the balanced brain is there, there's no required to develop that, right? It will help you to understand about the IQ level, EQ level, CQ level, AQ level. It will also help you to understand about whether you are a visual learner, auditory learner, kinesthetic learner. Some people learn by watching things, some people learn by hearing things, and some people learn by doing the things. If I teach how to prepare a cup of tea, and if I demonstrate, the visual person will watch me and will learn. Auditory person will not even watch me, will hear when I'm giving a passing instruction that fine, you have to put one spoon of one teaspoon of tea or whatever it is. Or kinesthetic people, unless they make a cup of tea by themselves, they will not learn. So there are three different type of learning style, and that is what they'll understand. Which is the best extracurricular activity you should get into it. Stream selection, which is the best stream for you as per your strengths, and then comes in then science, commerce, or humanities. Then comes in out of the 124 career option, which is the best career option that suits you. This completes 58-page report will actually be working as a guide to the child. It's like a user manual for a child. Ultimately, what we are talking about it is a application which matter. There are four applications of DMIT. DMIT now is a concept I'm sure you would have understood by now. There are four different type of DMITs softwares which are there. First is personality test, which only talks about the type of personality you have it, right? It will talk about your personality and talks about the personality, your personality with the relevant to the parent's personality, so how compatible are you? And what is the type of personality that you have it? And it is very important to understand the personality. Second is called the lifetime report, which will talk about all the aspects that I was talking about it so far. HR report recruitment is basically going to help the corporate for recruitment for that matter, and that's where you are going to help the people. And then comes in the compatibility where there are two people and they want to divide the role amongst themselves, understand which are the areas the husband is good at, which are the areas the wife is good at. So accordingly, you can divide the role and responsibility based on the strength that each person carries, right? So these are four different type of reports or the softwares which generates these reports. And the personality report is generally a marketing tool. It's a beautiful marketing tool. Very strong things is generally being given complimentary to collect the data for the in the schools. You want to do the free marketing, and that is what exactly can happen through this. Lifetime report will actually talk about all the aspects like whether it's a multiple intelligence theory, career selection, brain dominance, quotients, personality type, preferred learning style, thought process, acquiring method, and a lot of stuff you come to know. Compatibility report is primarily to understand the two people are getting into the partnership, are already a husband and wife, or they are about to, and they want to have a clarity in terms of what are the areas that the husband should take responsibility, what are the areas the wife should take responsibility, and what is the type of compatibility they will have it is. HR report actually will help you to recruit, to basically help the recruiter find the right talent for the role that's required, right? So these are four different type of reports that is there. Psychometric is something which is most popular across the world globally. As I said, the Fortune 500 companies are doing, the top business schools are doing, and everybody, all the institutes, we have given a software to 300 schools in India. They are using a psychometric test. Interest, aptitude, MI based, and you will come to know about the interest, you will come to know about the aptitude, you'll come to know about the multiple intelligence theory and the stream selection and career options. Okay. So this is something that will come to know from there. So there are five softwares that we can give it to you. Personality report एक generate करता है, free tool for marketing. Lifetime report, as I was talking about it, you come to know it's a data that you get in data driven parenting. You can do it because we'll be giving a complete strategy. So in this case, since if you are doing this business, we will be training you and you will be telling this and teaching this to the client. Then career fitment test, that is about the stream selection and the career selection. And fourth is DMIT HR. Dermatographic, it is basically about the recruitment. So these are five software that is there. Report generation software, the process is very simple. Actually, like we have bought the new softwares and in fact, we've got it developed like the new softwares 2025. And this softwares are something which is very, very simple. These are made on Google itself. They use the Google platform to make that software. And the best part is that the report in psychometric, the report can be generated by one click. Simple click, you can just generate the report. Within 30 seconds, the report is generated in total process, right? It's a question based test, so question which is being given to the child fills in the question and submits it. You don't have to do anything. It automatically will reflect into the report. You have to select the ID and then just select and automatically the report will be generated, right? And for DMIT, again, you have to just type, there are three-step process. Step number one, you have to take a fingerprint of the child. It can be done online also and offline also. Offline के लिए require a biometric scanner. Online के लिए I'll teach you the technique once you're a part of it. So the fingerprint taking, I mean, that takes about 7 to 10 minutes. After once you have taken it, you have to manually identify the fingerprint type because there's no software which is made in the world so far which can identify the fingerprint. So that is the job that has to be done. And once you have done it, enter the data and the code into the software and the report is generated. So both the report generation process simple. In psychometric, it's a simpler. It takes 1 minute to generate. In this, it might take about 15 minutes to generate the report in DMIT. Now, who should take psychometric and who should take DMIT? Psychometric, it's all about the acquired domain. जो हमने सीखा है when we were born. DMIT is all about the when you were born. तब आपके अंदर क्या talent था? What was the talent that you had it when you were born? Psychometric is more relevant for career counseling and stream selection. It caters to 10-year plus psychometric. It is a question-based test. Questions can be translated instantly into any language by Google Translator. That is the best part. See, when the people don't answer the questions correctly, that is where the challenge happens. So if you answer the questions correctly only if you have a fair amount of understanding. So somebody who's Punjabi can convert the questionnaire into Punjabi. Somebody who is Tamil, or Telugu can actually conduct that into that particular language. So somebody who's sitting into the Spain or somebody who's a German, who's into Germany is taking that test can convert through a Google Translator. Just right click onto the form and it will give you the language, select the language. The entire 80 questions will be converted into that particular, and that is the best part of it. So that once it is there in your mother tongue, you'll be more comfortable and you'll understand better and you'll be able to answer it better, right? Report will be generated in English only, but this is the thing, at least, that will help you. It can be done online and offline. Psychometric can be done online and offline, and results will vary from time to time because we continue to keep on learning. But DMIT test, it is all about inborn domains. यानी कि जब आप पैदा हुए, that point of time, what was the domain? What were the strengths? What are the weakness? Most relevant for parenting. Catering to 1 year plus, but don't do it for lesser than 4 years is my advice to you. It is a fingerprint based test online as well as through biometric scanner. You can conduct it online and through biometric scanner. Result will remain the same. If you do DMIT, it has to be done once in lifetime. You do it today, then you will never have to do it for that matter. It's like a user manual. So this is prima facie. So in a simple way, if I say, if the child is 4 to 14 years, do DMIT. If a child is 15 years plus, do psychometry. It's that simple, correct? Products I've already discussed with you. The first products that we have it is 4 DMIT test softwares. One is lifetime report, one is HR report, one is personality report, and one is compatibility report. And second is the career fitment test software, that is the career fitment test report which is being generated. It's for the career counseling and the stream selection. Okay. The price per report of DMIT, the people today charge from 5,000 to 7,000 rupees from the parents, and they do the counseling to their child. So the software will generate unlimited reports and you can charge 5,000 rupees from the parents for DMIT. And for career counseling and stream selection, you can charge 4,000 rupees. This is the acceptable price in the market and it is towards the bottom. Actually, the people charge, 25,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees for career counseling. And for DMIT, the people charge 11,000, 12,000 also, right? Now, having said that, what is the earning potential? If you do 2 counseling per day for 25 working days, it is a 50 counseling. And if you charge 5,000 rupees, your revenue is 2,50,000 rupees. 25,000 rupees will be an expense towards the Facebook campaign, and rest balance 2,25,000 rupees is going to be the profit of yours. We need to understand how do you do the lead generation, correct? So as we say, the most difficult task, the people who have been doing it all right, the people who have never done that, for them यार सबसे बड़ी चीज होती है कहाँ से customer आने वाला है. So first understand who is your target audience. Your target audience is the parents having a parenting mindset and who can purchase the things online, right? अगर आपका mindset या आप you don't spend money online, you never transacted online, you'll always be fearful. Now that percentage is very less today, but yeah, I just mentioned that. So anybody who's your target audience has to be parents, and it's not everybody who's a parent has a parenting mindset. Parent with the parenting mindset, so that's the compulsory requirement. So where do you find them? You find it across the globe. No matter whether you're in a big city or a small town. People having a parenting mindset exist everywhere. Those are 15% of the parents who are always excited and experimenting, and they want to give the best to the child and they have a money also to invest. How to reach them? Through a digital marketing. And through digital marketing, the best way is the Facebook and Instagram marketing. There's something called not the conversion campaign, but the lead generation campaign. We need to have a complete ecosystem. I said you need to have the right and authentic product that we're going to give it to you. Need to have the right kind of a training being imparted, the best training, I would say, you need to have it. You need to be certified since there are no certification bodies available who can certify me or you. So we as an organization certify you so that there's an impact onto the other people. We've been into the domain for a long time. So people do consider us as, a part of an authority. Though legally there's no authority that we have it, we can certify, but we give you a certification that you have gone through a structured learning process, right? Then business setup, like what is the name of the logo, what is the logo, the name of the company, the domain name, you'll create a front pages, all the reports, all the software will be branded to your name. And then how to create a payment gateway, how to run the Facebook campaign, everything you require, how to create a, how to keep on posting the things into the thing, what kind of a material you should be posting into social media to be active in that. Then comes in Facebook campaigns, how to run the Facebook campaigns. And then once the inquiries are generated, the leads are generated, what do you speak to the customer is also scripted so that like you don't go haywire, right? So products and software that we have it is DMIT lifetime report, DMIT HR report, compatibility report, damage report, DMIT scanning software and DMIT psychometric scanning software, right? As a training, we are having an app with a name called Mindpriests. You can go to the Play Store and just type Mindpriests. Priest जो church में होते हैं plural, Mindpriest. Download the app, in which once you actually like become a part of it, we give you an access to that on a specific course, and then you can actually like watch that onto the mobile also, as well as you can watch that onto the laptop also. And you have a query, then you can come back to us on WhatsApp. There's an app has got a, the chat window, you can chat within. You can call upon us, you can WhatsApp us, and you can dial a Zoom meeting if something is to be understood on the Zoom, right? So, scope to my mind to be successful, whatever is required has to be provided, is what the scope is all about. Then comes in certification of completion. That is, we give you, as I said, is the certification. For setting up your first Facebook campaign, will help you with the campaign setup content. We'll give you the images, we'll give you the copy, we'll give you the target audience, budget allocation, do's and don'ts. For the first time that you run it, so that you don't have to really struggle and think of it. And you may be raw and you may not know what is the right approach. You may get puzzled, and due to which, you may not get a success. So it's very important that, we being into this domain for a very long time, we can help you what really works best. Okay. And finally, once the lead comes in, then you have to have a script to be followed while you call upon the people to convert 15 to 20% of the people, right? So that's about the support part of it. Then comes in mentoring. I've been into this domain for almost about 10 plus 12 years. In fact, 2015, Mindtrees was born. We are a Delhi-based company, but we have a global presence like today in terms of the customer base. And if you feel that you got enough knowledge to actually empower you, or to be basically a part of it, or you can directly be in touch with me, then like, I would be honored to become your mentor. And for everything you require nothing but trust, right? If you have a trust, that makes sense. If you don't have a trust, then I don't know. So you are not the only one. There are 5,000 plus people who have already been a part of it and who are a part of a Mindpriest family. Now, if it excites you, it's your turn. And why choose Mindpriest? Are there not other players in the market? The challenge is yes, there are other players, but they give you product. What we give you is plug and play business opportunity, white collar software that is with your own brand. Training dashboard, we give it to you. Your earning starts from month one. You don't have to wait, and your the opportunity cost comes back to you within first month. Lifetime support है, one-time investment and no revenue sharing, and lifetime mentoring. That's the reason why you think, because we are not talking about one particular product and leaving a responsibility on you. We are taking an accountability and saying This is the path, this is the journey, this is the curriculum, this is the study thing, this is the way you have to do it. And if you follow the guidelines, you are bound to be successful, right? So we are going to give you product training, certification, business setup, Facebook campaign, and telescript. Right, so that is what it is. Looking forward for the people who want to join, and that's going to be the spirit, and we will go a long way. And it is something which is the need of a market. I think time to take a decision, just march ahead with that. And that is all for now. Thank you so much for joining in for this particular webinar. I'm looking forward to see you soon on board, and we'll work together for this mission, help them impact the people and earn luxuries out of it. So thanks for joining. Signing off, this is Raju Srivastava. Take very good care of yourself.